Hello and welcome to News Central Now. I am Adebola Adidba. The top stories at this hour. Presidency dismisses Nigerian military leaders' claims of attack by Nigeria. Rivers Bayelsa governors commits to resolving Sokoto oil wells disputes. 69 migrants die as boat capsizes near Morocco. And details shortly. News Central Now at this hour begins with reactions on the allegations made by Nigeria's military leader, Abdurrahman Chiani. The special advisor to the president, Bola Tinubu, on policy communication, Daniel Bwala, has dismissed allegations made by Nigeria's military leader, Abdurrahman Chiani, as baseless propaganda. In a recent interview conducted in Hausa, Chiani accused Nigeria of colluding with France to destabilize Niger. He alleged that France had negotiated with terrorists and made payments to President Bola Tinubu for a military base in Nigeria. Bola described the allegations as despicable and a deliberate attempt to incite northern Nigerians against the president, Bola Tinubu. He stressed that Chiani is using these claims as a distraction from his failure to address Niger's economic challenges. The Minister of Information, Mohammed Idris, also denounced the accusations, reiterating Nigeria's unwavering commitment to regional stability and its strong bilateral relations. Earlier, Dr. Samuel Oyewole, Research Fellow, African Center for the Study of the United States, University of Pretoria, shared his thoughts on this development.
Yesterday, I came across a video, a despicable propaganda by the military head of state of the Nigerian Republic against the government of Nigeria and against the President of the Federal Republic. And this is what you often see with military interregnum. The honeymoon is over. He has not been able to address economic situation in his country. Everything is turning against him, and in the desperate gasp for breath, he decided to resort to cheap false lies and propaganda against Nigeria. Nigeria over the years has maintained its leadership in the West African sub-region, and as a country we have not only developed but maintained bilateral relationship with our neighbors and have been of help tremendously to our neighboring countries. And the choice of language used by the military leader of Niger is quite instructive of what his intentions are. Probably in cahoot with politicians in Nigeria, you never know. But the whole idea is to create chaos and bad blood in the northern Nigeria against the president. First of all, his lies and propaganda are false, as can be seen by all. Nigeria has never had to give its own land as a military base to any country. Nigeria is a nation that has its own capacity to protect its citizens.
And that was the special advisor to President Bola Tinubu on policy communication, Daniel Bwala, dismissing allegations made by Nigerian President Mohammed Abdurrahman Chiani. Earlier, Dr. Samuel Oyewole, Research Fellow, African Center for Study of the United States, University of Pretoria, shared his thoughts on these developments.
This is a quite challenging period for the government of the Nigerian Republic. After 17 months, all the promised security, stability, economic progress, and transformation of the junta can no longer be substantiated after 17 months. People are now seeing reality of the failure of the military government. So they need to divert the attention, divert the blame away from the domestic public and the domestic institution, and blame foreign government for things that they are experiencing currently and things they are likely to experience. Because as you can see, the capacity of the country in terms of economic, in terms of investment, in terms of trade, and in terms of attracting talent, has declined since the past 17 months. And the best way for the government to divert attention of the people is to raise the threat of external invasion coming from the neighboring country, which has earlier promised or threatened this. But at this point in time, the Nigerian government have actually doused the tension in terms of threats earlier issued against the regime to step down return back to democracy. So this is actually a cover-up for a bigger challenges in the Republic right now.
And now to security matters, where the defense headquarters has assured citizens that there is no need for alarm regarding reports of Boko Haram and ISWAP using drones to target troop locations. Director of Defense Media Operation, Major General Edward Buba, clarified that the drones in questions are not military-grade but merely toys intended to intimidate civilians. He emphasized that these devices are ineffective and pose no significant threat. Major General Buba stated the measures are in place to counter such tactics and reassured the public that these threats are being effectively addressed. He also dismissed rumors of foreign military bases in Nigeria, reiterating the country's rejection of proxy wars. And to unpack this, we're joined by a security expert, and that's Tony Ofoyeton. Good evening, glad to have you join me on the news. Good evening, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you clearly.
All right.
I can hear you clearly.
All right, fantastic. Now, given General Buba's description of the drones as mere toys, how significant is the threat they pose to military operations as well as civilian populations?
Well, I think, well, first of all, that the military has been able to manage the communication with respect to the drone effectively well is commendable. But I don't think that it's something that should be handled with such kid gloves, because the way it operates in most cases is, first of all, to test the water and see to what extent the government is able to come all out against such antics. Drone is a major security challenge globally today, because drone is capable of doing what humans will not be able to do, and they are capable of assessing where humans will not be able to easily assess. We also have assault drones and the like. Now that simply means that if we have a situation where the Boko Haram and the terrorist group are already test running, and that is the way it should be seen. It's not just be seen as mere toy. Terrorists don't operate at that pedestrian level. Terrorists are not jokers, they are not comedians. What they do is, first of all, to do what is called a test running of that. And first of all, see the reaction of the government. So I think that the first thing is for the government to go all out. Even if you assume without conceding that it is it's a mere toy, then you need to go all out to ensure that you mop out the forest and mop out such technology. And it's also expected that they should work with the customs and work with all regulatory agencies to make sure that drones that are coming into the country are getting to the right hands, especially drones for film and drones for agricultural purposes and the like, because there is no drone that is not capable of being used for whatever purpose you want to use it for. Even if you say it's for area coverage of a film or for agricultural purposes, such drones can also be converted to assault drones. And that is why the government must come to terms with all these things. You must be able to nip it in the bud, right from the level of importation down to the level of the delivery to the end user. It is imperative as we speak today. And also our border security, because in some cases it's not going to come true. What is happening between Niger and Nigeria now is such that it exposes Nigeria to higher level of border porosity. Because at their own level, they are not interested in guarding the border. Whatever that is not good that comes to Nigeria is allowed. Then it is at the level of Nigeria to now ensure that what is not expected does not come to Nigeria. Nigeria should be more interested in guarding the border, especially that of Nigeria and Niger as we speak now. Since the bilateral relationship between Nigeria and Niger is not as good as expected. And I'm sure you would have also seen with the blackmailing information about, Nigeria allowing France to put up a military base, all because of the, unpleasant relationship between Niger and France. I don't think Nigeria would have been that pedestrian to the extent of going that, yes, please.
Just to chip in there, following your train of thought, you talked about these situations should not be handled with a kid's glove. I'd like you to expatiate a bit further. What could be the implication,
Very
for
well.
instance, of terrorists acquiring and also utilizing
now,
even...
Just a
minute, Mr. Ofoyeton. I was asking you to please expatiate, what could be the likely implication of terrorists acquiring or even utilizing rudimentary drone technology, regardless of its current effectiveness.
Drone is one technology, it's called area vehicle. Why it's area vehicle? Because it's capable of even assassinating. It's capable of carrying grenades. And it's capable of whatever you think that a jet fighter can do. It can do it at a minimal level, but it's capable of doing such. That is why the government and especially security agencies must not take it with kid gloves, because that thing you call drone is capable of dropping grenades in any of its formation. It's capable of attacking even our oil facility, critical natural facilities in the country. Is capable of attacking those places. And what the military and the terrorists are trying to do is, for me, I will see it as a test running to see to what extent we're able to react. If our reaction is not spontaneous, it's not proactive, then be rest assured that that is going to be the next line of agenda of the terrorists. And that is what they are trying to tell you by bringing in this. Don't forget the way terrorism started in this country. It was surreptitiously subtle. But at the end of the day, today, it is cancerous. Now, if they are moving to the next phase of terrorism by the use of technology through drone, then the government should be able to... There are drone jammers that the military, they are aware of it. They know what to do in all these things. So it should not just be that it is just a mere toy. There's nothing called toy as far as security challenge is concerned. A security attack is an attack. Well, even if it is a rubber bullet, let us assume, even if it's a rubber bullet, once you shoot it, of course, you come to attempted murder. And that is the way it works. And that is the way I think that the security agencies should take it. I know very well that they will do that anyway.
Mr. Ofoyeton, talking about security agencies, I wonder what you think about how the Nigerian military plan to address these emerging threats. Are there specific counter-drone measures already in place or under consideration?
Well, there are some of these strategies that may not be public discourse. But the little I know in the course of my career in the security industry, I can categorically tell you that it may not be easy for the terrorist group to be able to launch it out when the military are really ready to counter. They have the facility, they have the technology to be able to bring it down or bring them down at any point in time. But all I just want them to do is to prevent them from even launching such drone. And that is the area I think I want them to work on. I know they may have the capacity to trap those drones. They may have the capacity to shoot down the drone. They may have the capacity to jam the drones. But it is always better when you nip it in the bud by even preventing them from launching it right from the beginning, getting them, deprive them of such use right from the beginning, so that we don't have to waste our energy on such. We spent a lot of resources to acquire all these things, and expending on the miscreants like the Boko Haram sect and the like, I don't think it is worth it. So the best thing is to prevent it ab initio.
All right, thank you so much for your time on the news. Tony Ofoyeton, security expert. Many thanks indeed. Residents of Rumtawa and Gida Sama communities in the Silame local government area of Sokoto State have raised fresh allegations against the Nigerian military. This is coming 3 days after the Christmas Day Air Force bombing on the communities by Air Force fighter jets targeting the Lakurawa terrorist group. Some residents of the community spoke to News Central Television, accusing the military of gross rights violation and spreading fake news about the attack. One of the victims, named Umaru Dogo, who lost his entire family during the attack, comprising his wife, 4 daughters and a son, says that he was also assaulted by military personnel, accusing him of being a member of the terrorist group. Another member of the community also dismissed recent statement from the defense headquarters in Abuja saying that they are false and misleading.
The allegations are real, and of course, New Central on a fact-finding mission to Gidansama village, Gidambisa, Rumtua village in Silami local government area of Sokoto state, brought out a lot of revelations. Two very important revelations were revealed to us today while we were at Gidansama village. The first is the fact that casualties are actually up to 13, as reported, as allegedly, differently reported from the army, from the military defense headquarters yesterday. A young man, of course, his name is Umaru, who lost his wife in the bomb explosion of the Air Force jet. He lost his wife and 5 children. Told us that, of course, the Nigerian military, our officers and soldiers of Nigerian military, came to his house to pick him up, alleging that he's a LAPRA member after losing his wife and 5 children. And of course, in the process of burying the deceased, they allege that the military officials came in to shoot them while they are burying their, deceased brothers and sisters. And the victims that were shot are now in the hospital here in Sokoto City Center. And of course, that makes it the total casualty to be 13, which is of course 10 who are already buried, and of course 13 who are already in the hospital. Of course, 9 of the casualties are from Gidansama village, while 1 is from Rumtua village. That is a revelation we had from the locals today. And they also, revealed to us the extent of the damage, where they mentioned that about 4 of their cameras were dispersed. 4, of course, there's a video we showed to you about those cameras.
And that was our correspondent Emmanuel Bogudo speaking to us live from Sokoto State. He now joins us to provide more updates on his findings in the affected communities. Emmanuel, good evening. Glad to have you join me. Just bring us up to speed. You were live at the 2 communities shot by Air Force jets, on Christmas Day. What are your major findings?
Yeah, very disturbing findings, very heart, trembling, very so pathetic, so to say. And then, of course, we are talking about a situation where a Nigerian military, a military of a country, made it clear to the whole world that it shot down 10 terrorists who are Laprawas. And of course, they just churn out press releases and the stories just go viral, and then it's been recorded as a military success. But on reaching there, we discovered that they are just mere innocent, community members who were actually, being shot and not Laprawas. And of course, a gentleman who was being accused, accusing the military of, accusing him of being a Laprawa member after losing 5 of his family members, of course, 6 of his family members, his wife and his 5 children. So it's so hard trembling, and of course, the community raised allegations of the fact that the military is claiming that it has, wiped out Laprawas, but the military actually came to a community and released its bomb, and it killed members of their community and the members of 1 member of their neighboring community. 9 persons were killed at Gidansama, and then 1 person was killed at Rumtua village, and then 6 persons were burnt by the firepower of the bomb, and then they are currently at the hospital in Sokoto South local government. And then, of course, 3 persons were shot by a crop of soldiers who came to the community to claim that it's a Laprawa community. They shot these three members of the community who are actually part of the burial ceremony that took place, where the 10 persons were being buried. That was where the 3 persons were being shot. Revelations just coming out from different angles. The head of the communities, completely faulted the position of the army live, saying that the entire press, releases are false, and then they will continue to call for justice, and they are accusing the military of carnage. They are accusing the military of massacre.
Emmanuel, if I may,
and justice must be done, and they are not going to forgive. In his words, he said,
Just a second, Emmanuel. I mean, the military has denied targeting the communities and saying only secondary explosions affected people. How true is this based on your findings on ground?
They said it's a blatant lie. They made it clear. Magajin Gari, Dan Ladi Umaru makes it very clear to us. Magajin Gari of Sama, and then of course the paramount ruler and the paramount leader of both Jidan Sama and Tua, who are neighbors, made it clear to us that it's not a minor explosion. It's a major explosion that came down from the air. The narration is there. We have documented all the videos and the evidence. They said they were on their communities, and if this fighter jet came around, made a surveillance, they even came out to admire the jet, the fighter jet, because they are not scared. They believe they are not Lakurawas, they are not criminals. So they came out there to admire the jets. All of a sudden, they saw the jet started releasing bomb. They just released bomb to the right hand side. When they are about running to the left hand side, the fighter jet followed them and still released another one. And before you know it, they started scampering for safety. The animals started scampering for safety. You saw the video. 3 camels were burnt alive. 3 horses were burnt alive. Of course, all the animals have been dispersed. And then 6 persons are currently at the Sokoto South General Hospital, receiving treatment. So they made it clear that it is a major Air Force operation that is coming down, that involves an Air Force jet releasing bomb and bombing their communities. While the Air Force claim that the military claim that they are all members of Lakurawas. They said they have never seen a Lakura member in their community before. That has not happened, and it is a major operation in their community. They have been killed, and they demand justice. They are crying out for justice, and justice must be done to them, and that all their members that are currently in the hospital should be attended to. There are about 6 persons who are suffering from fire injury, and 3 persons who are allegedly shot by soldiers during the burial of the 10 community members who were killed. And there's a very important alarm that was raised by a very important member of the community. His name is Umaru, who has lost 6 members of his community, his wife and his 5 children. His wife, 4 girls, and then 1 boy were killed. He's the person that suffered a major loss in the community. 6 people out of the 10 persons were part of his family, and he claimed that the soldiers came into his house, picked him up, claimed that he's a member of the Lakurawa community. He's a member of Lakurawa terrorist group. He made it clear to us that he's not a member. He doesn't even know anybody like he has never seen a Lakurawa person before, and that he should be vindicated. He should be exonerated from
Emmanuel, I'm afraid you have to anchor it there. Thank you so much. Emmanuel, thank you so much for the blow-by-blow account of what transpired in Sokoto State. Our correspondent right there, Emmanuel Bogood, reporting live from Sokoto State. The Nigerian Army has decorated newly promoted brigadier generals and other senior officers in Maiduguri as part of its ongoing operations in the Northeast. The event held at the Joint Task Force Northeast Headquarters, Operation Hadankai, witnessed the elevation of key military leaders who have been instrumental in combating insurgency in the region. News Central's Umaru Kirawa tells us more.
Away from the usual gunfire and battles on the front lines to stem the tide of insurgency, it's a day for smiles shared with family members and loved ones.
We have decided to redouble our efforts to ensure that the menace of terrorism is completely wiped out of the territory of Nigeria.
We want to assure Mr. President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, of our continued loyalty and perseverance in ensuring that we bring peace not only to the Northeast region, but to the whole entire country.
The newly promoted officers, who have demonstrated exceptional leadership and tactical expertise in various counterinsurgency operations, were commended for their tireless efforts in the region.
On behalf of the government and good people of Borno State, let me extend our congratulations to the newly promoted officers. I wish you all the best in your future endeavors, and I hope this new role will catapult you to the next level.
You now manage complex problems. And in managing complex problems, there are a lot of stakeholders you need to, not only your soldiers this time around. So you'll be up there looking at the problems and trying to bring solutions. I urge you to look at the Chief of Army Staff and the Chief of Naval Staff And when you go back, tell yourself, I will not let you down. Everything you do must be within the ambit of the law.
They emphasized that the promotion ceremony not only honored the individual officers, but also marked a turning point in the Nigerian Army's fight against insurgency.
As we wear our new ranks, I want to state that we recommit ourselves to the service and the defense of our dear fatherland, Nigeria.
Amid smiles, they move forward with strategies and discussions to address ongoing security challenges across the region. In Maiduguri for News Central, Umaru Kirawa.
After the break, Naowa 3 Division unveils Mall Amusement Park for personnel and families. Details shortly. Join us again. Thank you for staying tuned. As part of the Yule-Tide celebration, an amusement park in honor of Maria Abiodun Lagbaja, wife of late former Chief of Army Staff, has been unveiled at the 3 Division Maxwell Kobe Cantonment in Jos, the Plateau State capital. The chairperson of the Nigerian Army Officers' Wives Association 3 Division, Fibishola Abubakar, stated that the project aims to provide a safe and enriching space for play and learning for children in the barracks community. Our correspondent Chizoba Anyanwe has details.
By my humble self, Major General A. Abubakar, General Staff Commanding 3 Division and Commander Operations 7.
This was the unveiling of the Maria Abiodun Lagbaja Park, also known as the Mall Park. The facility exemplifies the timeless adage, all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy, highlighting the importance of leisure amidst work. Beyond its recreational purpose, the park contributes to the efficiency and productivity of personnel while ensuring that children of 3 Division and Operation Safe Haven are not left out. The host of the event, chairperson of Naowa 3 Division, Fibishola Abubakar, explained that the park is a legacy project designed to positively impact lives.
The park was created to offer our children a safe and joyful place to play, learn, and grow. As we open the gate to this beautiful park, let us commit to nurturing the space and each other. Let us continue to build a community where every child can thrive and where unity and love prevail.
The special guest of honor, Major General Abdusalam Abubakar, who serves as the General Officer Commanding 3 Division and Commander Operation Safe Haven, emphasized that the Mall Park also caters to the mental well-being of officers and personnel.
This significant occasion marks not only the unveiling of a remarkable memorial facility, but also reflects our unwavering commitment to the welfare and the well-being of our troops and their families, as well as the supporting community that surrounds us.
Following the cake cutting ceremony to celebrate the park's unveiling, General Abubakar also inaugurated the Naowa and Naswa football teams. The park offers various facilities for children, including a football field, basketball court, bouncy castle, trampoline, gazebos, and an 8x12 5-foot swimming pool. The children expressed their excitement and joy.
This is the best day of my life to visit a park, and it's very, very nice. And we love all the cool stuff that we saw here.
I'm so happy to be in this place today because everything is looking so fun and interesting. I am happy, and I want to say thank you to the Nigerian Army for this.
I'm very happy because of the fun I'm having here. I'm happy because of the fun I'm having here with my friends.
Now, with the joy seen on the faces of these children gathered here today, one would expect that the coordinators of this park would maintain as well as sustain the legacies left here today for posterity. In Jos for News Central, Chizoba Anyanwe.
The governors of Rivers and Bayelsa states, Siminalayi Fubara and Dioye Diri, have reaffirmed their commitment to resolving the long-standing dispute over the Sokoto oil wells and Bayesa's property in Port Harcourt. During a Christmas visit to Fubara in Port Harcourt, Diri commended his counterpart's peaceful approach to addressing the contentious issues. The meeting followed an earlier visit by Fubara to Yenagoa. The Rivers governor highlighted the historic ties between the two states, calling for mutual cooperation and a peace resolution that serves the best interests of both parties. The two leaders also emphasized the need to strengthen the Brace Commission, a regional body aimed at fostering development and integration among Bayelsa, Rivers, and neighboring states.
I'd like to also put on record that since you came on board, between our two states, it has been very peaceful. Between our two states, we have had a whole lot of understanding, even in areas where we had some previous disagreements. And for me, that is very instructive. Very instructive, and I'd like to make a particular reference to the Sokoto oil wells that generated a whole lot of heat between our two states. For now, between us, we have agreed that let us go back to the status quo before whatever that happened.
So you just mentioned a few of the things we've been able to resolve within the short period. But above all, the most important thing is I want a better and stronger relationship with Bayelsa. If there is any issue of development in this state, if it doesn't work, if we don't work with Bayelsa, we can't sustain the development. And the truth about it is, good number of people that are living here are people from Bayelsa. They might work administratively there, but they reside here. So if we are developing this state, it is also for the interest and the betterment of Bayelsa. So we are not going to end here. We also need that side to also be better, so that the growth among this region will be uniform.
The year 2024 has been a year of highs and lows marked by significant developments and recurrent challenges, with Nigeria's power, oil and gas sectors affected remarkably, notably with the persistent issue of power grid collapses. This year alone, the country's power grid suffered multiple failures, leaving millions without electricity for extended periods. News Central's correspondent Bettina Onweli examines key activities in Nigeria's power as well as oil and gas sectors in 2024.
The power sector has faced another turbulent year, with persistent grid collapses remaining a major concern. Nigeria's electricity grid, which supplies power to millions of homes and businesses, at the time of filing this report suffered 12 outages this year, highlighting long-standing issues of inadequate infrastructure and system management. Experts have pointed to the urgent need for investment in grid stability and modern technology to prevent such recurring failures.
There is no way anybody will look at the power sector in the last 1 year and say that it has done well. I believe that the presidency, at this point, should by themselves be able to sit up and ask themselves the critical questions. Do they have the right hands to hand you? Is it the right hand that is handing TCA? Multiple, billions of dollars that we spent on this in the last 10 years. Why do we continue to have old infrastructure as excuses for the national grid collapse? What about the subsequent losses to the economy? What about the industries?
As Nigeria pushes to embrace alternative energy solutions, CNG gained rapid popularity over petrol due to its affordability and eco-friendliness. However, considering the few cases of CNG gas explosions experienced in 2024, safety continues to remain a priority, in order to maximize its benefits.
If you do it with a certified federal government center, then you are rest assured of the materials that they are using. Then the next one is that you do a walk-around check on a daily basis. Move around the vehicle, check the cylinder area, try out to perceive smell. So the moment you're perceiving smell, so that means there's leakage around. Then when you are feeling the gas, it's not advisable to stay inside the vehicle while you're feeling the gas. Then finally, avoid impact as much as possible.
In the oil and gas sector, 2024 saw a mix of old challenges and new beginnings. The nation's crude oil production remained under pressure due to theft and pipeline vandalism, and the non-availability of fuel supply led to long queues and mass frustration. Perhaps the most significant highlight of the year was the commissioning of new refineries, including the much-anticipated Dangote refinery in Lagos, which has the capacity to refine up to 650,000 barrels of crude oil daily, positioning Nigeria to significantly reduce its dependency on imported petroleum products.
Dangote refinery commenced operation this year. There is also the rehabilitation of Port Harcourt refinery, and this just shows Nigeria's resilience and our commitment to leveraging the use of natural resource for economic development. Another big one is the fact that after years of underperformance, we actually met the quota that was set by OPEC for the first time in many years.
Additionally, modular refineries across the Niger Delta region have started to make an impact, providing a decentralized approach to oil refining and supporting local economies. These developments signal a gradual shift towards self-sufficiency in fuel production, a long-standing goal for Africa's largest oil producer. Experts are optimistic that these refineries will not only improve fuel availability, but also create jobs and strengthen the naira through reduced foreign exchange demand for imports.
Port refinery have helped create job opportunities. They have helped reduce reliance on petroleum, on imported petroleum products, and even reduction in the price of PMS. But the truth is there's actually one significant challenge. For instance, Dangote refinery is reliant on imported crude oil, right? And so this has remove some of the cost benefit that we would have hoped to see as regards having domesticated refineries.
While the new refineries offer hope, challenges remain. The recurring issue of oil theft and pipeline vandalism has continued to impact revenue generation. As the year 2024 comes to an end, the power and oil sectors remain a mix of opportunities and hurdles. While the government continues to reiterate its commitment to reforms and infrastructure investments, Nigerians are eager to see these promises materialize in their daily lives. In Lagos, for News Central, I am Bettina Nwili.
And to unpack this, we're joined by Lanre Elatsuyi, an electricity markets analyst. Good evening, glad to have you join me on the news.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, viewers at home.
All right. Now, Nigeria's power grids has suffered multiple collapses this year alone, resulting in extended periods of power outages. What do you believe are the underlying causes of these multiple collapses, and how best can we prevent them in future?
It's quite unfortunate that at this time and age, Nigeria still experiences grid collapse. So why do grid collapse, and why do we frequently experience grid collapse in Nigeria? First of all, we have to consider the unique characteristics of the commodity electricity. electricity depends on the physical infrastructure, and both generation and consumption of electricity are instantaneous, in the sense that at every point in time, at every second, there must be a balance between what is being generated and what is being consumed, otherwise known as load. So whenever there's no balance between generation and load, above, there are two parameters, frequency and voltage, that actualize grid reliability. So at every time, at every point where there's a deviation beyond nominal values as prescribed in the grid code, there's going to be grid collapse, in the sense that when generation is more than consumption above a nominal value, there's going to be a grid collapse, or whenever there is more consumption than what is being generated. So, but as regards towards cost frequent grid collapse in Nigeria, I think the one that happened in October was because of the fact that there was a current transformer that caught fire in Jeba transmission station. Then there have been frequent grid transmission line vandalism by bandits. So we experience this thing on frequent basis, and it's quite unfortunate. Yes, we expect that there will be a detailed report of what really transpired, especially from the system operator, that is the body, the agent responsible for grid reliability. So we can only talk, probably give textbook reasons why grid collapse, but the actual causes of grid collapse can only be what the system operator comes out with in their detailed report.
Now, let me speak to you as an electricity market analyst. How do you think this persistent issue of power grid collapses in Nigeria has impacted the economic growth, development, of course, and as well as, you know, a way of attracting foreign investment and supporting local businesses?
Anywhere in the world, businesses rely on power. Your economy cannot be advanced. You cannot have a very good economy if you can generate electricity. So one of the problems we have in the country is that businesses rely on captive generation. Grid power is the cheapest anywhere in the world, and where industries cannot connect to the grid because of the fact that most industrial machines are frequency sensitive, and they can get power at required frequency and voltage, they have to resort to captive generation, which is more expensive. So you see that cost of doing business will increase, and the cost of and the price of goods and services will equally be will not be affordable. Besides, most foreign businesses will find it hard to come to Nigeria because there's no cheap power generation or power sources of energy. So it is very hard for us to attract investments into the country because of the fact that we cannot supply electricity at least cost. So businesses will rather go to other countries or other environments where they can get cheap power, because most time you cannot even transfer this price to the customers. So for businesses that have relied on captive generation, the cost of doing business for them has increased. For local business, the cost of doing business has increased, and that's actually impacted on their profitability.
And that's a fine place to wrap it up. Thank you so much for your expertise on the news. Lanre Elatuyi, electricity market analyst. Many thanks indeed for your insight. You're live with News Central TV. We'll take a short break now. Do stay tuned. Thank you for staying with us. Up north, at least 69 people, including 25 Malians, have lost their lives after a makeshift boat capsized off the Moroccan coast while attempting to reach Spain. Now, Mali's Ministry of Malians Abroad confirmed the tragedy, saying only 11 survivors were rescued, 9 of whom are Malians. The incident underscores the grave risks of the Atlantic migration route, one of the world's deadliest pathways. Over 10,000 migrants have reportedly died this year while attempting to reach Spain, with many fleeing conflict and poverty in sub-Saharan Africa. Malian authorities have deployed a crisis unit to assist the survivors. Persistent economic hardships and instability, exacerbated by political upheaval and jihadist violence, continue to drive Malians to undertake dangerous sea crossings in search of better opportunities.
Nigeria's Super Eagles B secured a 3-1 win over Ghana's Black Galaxies, earning a spot in the 8th African Nations Championship, jointly hosted by Kenya, Tanzania, and Botswana. The Eagles dominated the first half, with Sadiq Ismail opening the scoring in the 18th minute, followed by strikes from Nduka Jr., who scored in the 21st minute, and Saviour Isaac scoring in the 25th minute to secure the vital win. Ghana's Stephen Amankona pulled one back in the 73rd minute, but the goal was just a consolation goal. This victory ends a 6-year absence from CHAN for Nigeria, marking a significant milestone for the home-based team. 9-time Nigeria Premier Football League champions Enyimba International Football Club have parted ways with head coach Yemi Olarinwaju after a poor run of results. The team are winless in their last 9 matches, spanning domestic and continental competitions. Coach Yemi's contributions includes his role as assistant to former head coach Finidi George, who helped Enyimba secure a 3rd-place finish in the 2023-2024 MPFL season and also qualify for the CAF Confederation Cup. Despite his efforts, the decision to relieve him of his duties was deemed necessary to revive the team's fortunes. In a swift replacement, Enyimba appointed Stanley Eguma as their new head coach. Eguma is best known for leading Rivers United to MPFL titles, and he was part of Enyimba's coaching staff during their CAF Champions League triumphs in the early 2000s. Mamelodi Sundowns extended their winning streak to 6 matches in the South African Premier Soccer League with a 2-0 victory over Richards Bay on Saturday. The win solidifies Sundowns' position at the top of the league table, opening a 6-point gap over 2nd-placed Orlando Pirates, who have 2 games in hand. Coach Miguel Cardoso's side now shifts focus to their upcoming CAF Champions League clash against Raja Casablanca in Morocco in January. Meanwhile, Richards Bay suffered their 8th league defeat of the season, leaving them 15th in the standings. The French Ski Federation has confirmed that skier Cyprien Sarrazin has undergone successful surgery to address a brain bleed sustained during a training accident for the World Cup in Italy. The 30-year-old skier, who triumphed at the same venue last year, lost control during his 2nd practice run on Friday after bouncing off the surface and sliding a considerable distance. He was airlifted to a hospital for urgent medical attention. Sarrazin has been a prominent figure in the World Cup circuit, securing 3 downhill victories last season, as well as a Super G win in January, which contributed to his 5th place overall finish. His recovery timeline is yet to be determined. And that's a wrap on Sport Update. I am Udoka Njoko.
And that's all on the news. Let's take a look again at some of the major stories. Presidency dismisses Nigerian military leaders' claim of attack by Nigeria. Rivers Bayelsa governors commit to resolving Sokoto oil wells disputes. 69 migrants die as boat capsizes near Morocco. You can watch News Central live on DSTV, channel 422, Star Times, channel 274, Avo TV, and YouTube. Many thanks for watching. I'm Adebola Adeduba. It's bye for now.